Today I am Mr. Saturn, and I have a great guest today. I have Noah Cutter from BKFC. What's up, Noah?
What's up, guys?
Well, I want to give you a huge thanks for accepting this interview. It's an honor. This is interview number three, and I've been catching up with some of your fights. I've been checking out some of your past interviews. So I will be asking some different types of questions.
Okay, cool.
So I heard in one of your past interviews that your dad is was in the Marines.
Yeah, he was a helicopter pilot in the Marines.
Okay, okay. What was life like growing up in a military family? I assume you guys moved around a lot, right?
Yeah, so for us, it was every 3 years we would switch states. So when I was born, I was born in North Carolina. I was only there for a couple years. Then we moved to Arizona until I was 5. Then to Georgia till I was 8. Then we moved around some more different places after that. But he wasn't in the Marines anymore. But it was a little rough as a kid. It was an interesting experience because not really, understanding life and stuff like that. It was kind of hard to process, like moving to new places and making friends.
Hmm.
And then when I was a little bit older, like by the time I was 5, then knowing like, oh, we're about to move again now, and in like 3 years, I'm not gonna have any of these friends anymore. So
Yeah, that's funny because that's one of my questions too. I wanted to ask you, what was it like making friends? I mean, can you elaborate a little bit on that when you were younger?
what was it like moving where?
Yeah, what was it like making friends? Because I was that was actually part of my question. Now that you had mentioned it, since you moved around a lot, how did that affect you growing up?
Yeah, so like I said, it was easy. It was always easy for me to make friends when I would go places. Like I never had the issue. It wasn't until, like I said, when I was like 5 or 6, when I realized, what was going on with our schedule, that I kind of began to think like, oh well, it wasn't hard to make friends, but it was just kind of like, well, I know that I'm not going to end up being lifelong friends with these people. These people are just going to be gone in a little while. But like for me at the time as a kid, it was hard. But I think growing up as an adult has kind of helped me because even though I don't move around a lot, like I've lived in the same spot in Florida for a long time, I'm real used to like easily being able to pick up and go, you know what I mean? And I'm comfortable with making friends with new people and like I can go to a new gym and just take on a whole new life and like it's kind of just like second nature to me. I don't have some of the discomfort that some people might have with doing stuff like that because I did it so much when I was little that it's kind of like embedded in me.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of a positive too. I mean, you kind of just learn to just take those chances and just go for it. No attachments and stuff.
Yeah, and that's it too. The other thing is like I've grown not to be attached, so I don't have girlfriends. I don't have long relationships. I have relationships with friends and stuff like that that'll last forever. But yeah, all I have is a dog, so it's and I have someone that can watch my dog, so it's very easy for me. Like my last fight, I picked up and left and went and trained in Jacksonville for 2.5 weeks, and it wasn't no problem for me.
Do you have a hard time taking your dog with you when you travel?
So when I travel, I don't take them with me, depending on where I go. But like for that last training camp, I didn't take him. He'll stay with my mom at my mom's house. He has a whole little setup over there. He's a pit bull, so he's wild and rowdy, and he has a whole setup over at my mom, like a big
Okay.
pen, covering, dog house, bed, like all that good stuff. So
What's your dog's name?
Dempsey, he's a pit bull terrier.
Okay, I've seen some of the pictures on your Instagram. Cute dog, cute dog.
Yeah,
How
that's
long? But go ahead.
I was gonna say that's my biggest attachment. That's the only
Yeah.
thing that
How long have you had him?
he's 9 now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, 9 years
Nice.
old.
Um, have you? Okay. So I also do you still train Muay Thai? Do you? I heard you were teaching classes or something, right? Or is that something that you still do?
Yeah, I teach
Teach.
karate style kickboxing.
Okay.
Karate, karate.
Tell us,
Karate.
tell us a little bit about that. How's that going?
I love it, man. I train. I coach twice a week at the gym. Just a small group of guys. We have different levels of students, all the way from beginners that will probably never compete to amateur MMA fighters, amateur kickboxers. I like it, man. That's when I started martial arts, or when I started MMA was my original combat sport that I was in as an amateur and a professional. My first coach was a Go-Juru karate style kickboxer, and he coached me for a lot of my first, pretty much my whole amateur career. And I did really well, and I did really well in kickboxing and striking. And I still continue to do it even with the bare knuckle boxing. I'll still, even when I'm training for a fight, I'll still kickbox once or twice a week just to get my hands a rest and do some kicking and stretch my hips out and work my legs and my feet some. But yeah, I love it, man. And that's like my original sport. I've only boxed for about 4 years.
Mm,
I've been doing bare knuckle, and I've been kickboxing, karate style kickboxing for over 12. So that's where I feel most comfortable, and that's what I really like.
yeah. Yeah. What is how is your relationship with BKFC? You've been with them for a while.
Yeah, yeah. So I've been with BKSC for almost 4 years. Our relationship is pretty good. I'm trying to hash out my next fight now. It's a little difficult. Not really. There's been a little bit of back and forth and contention on what it is I'm going to do next. Thought we had something coming up. I watched the show today. I think you were
Yeah,
watching the show
I
today.
was. Yes, sir.
And they announced November, I do believe, 9th, 16th, and 24th are all the November cards.
Yeah.
So I kind of have an idea of an opponent, and I just got to get a hold of Nate. I was actually going to message him today after that show, but then I got called into work, which is why we're doing the car interview now. But
Yeah.
I got to call Nate, get a hold of. I got to text Nate and see which one of those dates I can get on and which opponent they're going to be looking to fight me, because that's what we're looking at. Is probably a November return.
Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully you get to come to the West Coast too.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind depending on what state.
Well, the last two times they've been here, they were here in California. I'm shooting for hopefully another California fight card.
California would be cool.
Yeah. 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 All right. So here's a funny question. What is your beef with Facebook?
What's my beef with Facebook?
Yeah, I heard. I was watching one of the interviews, and you said something like you don't mess around with Facebook, and I don't know. So I was like, I wonder what happened.
Nothing ever happened. It's just like back when I'm 35, so when I was still a teenager, probably MySpace was starting,
Yeah,
and all my friends were on MySpace. They thought it was like the greatest thing. And then after MySpace, Facebook started, and I just was never into it, man. Like when I was an amateur MMA fighter, like I said, everybody, I can't even remember if it was MySpace or Facebook, but it was just like a real crappy place to kind of be. I had a couple of amateur fighters that I was set to fight in Northwest Florida, and I don't even remember their names because they never went on to do anything. But I'd have a fight match with them, and then somebody who's on Facebook would be like, "I looked him up on Facebook. They're talking shit on you on Facebook."
Oh,
I'd just be like, "Oh, okay, well, whatever." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna reply to them because obviously I don't even have one. So I mean, I wouldn't even have known it unless you told me just now. You know what I mean? And, I had that happen a couple of times. People that were talking shit didn't even show up to fight. So around that time when amateur MMA, it seemed like kind of a shitty thing that especially fighters were doing and getting on so they could talk shit and they could like maybe get to a weigh-in or hit some bags in their garage or whatever and post it and look like they're tough and act like they were going to be a fighter, but then none of them really would freaking ever show up. So I always just kind of hated it for that. When Instagram started, it was a little better with the pictures and videos and not so negative. And so I finally started Instagram because I knew I had to. Like by that point, I was a professional MMA fighter, and but yeah, I don't like Facebook.
yeah, no, I feel it. I feel it. I'm not on Facebook either for dumb reasons, actually, but that's maybe a conversation for another day. um,
People
so
stalking you on there?
nah, nah, nah. It's just it's ridiculous how people get offended over nothing. Like I was watching this video of some Mexicans doing some like crazy hard work, some really smart work. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, in Spanish, I was like, pinches mexicanos. Like, I said it as a positive way, like, hey, these fucking guys. And I got reported and I got banned for that one thing. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is garbage. I'm out of here. Fuck, I don't want to mess with it no more.
Someone was it a person reported you or was it
Yeah,
Facebook?
it was a person because they sent a report like of who of not who, but it says multiple people had reported your comment. So we deemed that it was offensive to a group of people. I was like, do you guys even know my parents are Mexican? Like, and I didn't even argue. I didn't even do because you can have like what do you call it? Where they can re-review it, and then maybe add it back to the conversation. But nah, I'm good. Fuck that.
Yeah. Well, Facebook is also still essentially Instagram, and Instagram does a lot of stupid stuff like that too. So
Yeah, I gotta watch myself on that one, boss.
yeah. So the censoring and stuff like that, and I guarantee it with the election about to be coming, I've noticed actually a lot of people that I follow are posting a lot of stuff in their stories saying that they're being flagged for like random stuff that doesn't even make sense. And I guarantee it's because of the elections coming up. So they're going to start looking at people's stuff and just like policing everybody's posts and deciding, even if it's not legitimate reasons, what people can and can't have up. So that would be my guess as to that with the censorship crap, which is, yeah, it's dumb as hell.
Yeah, yeah. Social media, man. Can't live with it, and some can't live without it.
Yeah, you really can, especially when you're competing and stuff. You kind of have to be out there. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what do you do when you're not fighting? You gotta have some kind of hobby. Like, you like building puzzles or something like. What do you do?
so honestly, when I'm not fighting, the majority of all I do is work, and when I'm not working, I just try to relax. Like right now, I don't have a lot of hobbies, and I don't. It's not a great thing. Like I don't take that as a brag. I'm really into like Japanese style culture, like Ronin culture, um, and one of the main things with that, with being a warrior, they talk about in there, is that you should draw, you should write, you should make art, you should do other things besides just being a warrior because you gotta occupy your mind with other things lest you go insane. But one that I've been thinking about getting back into lately is drawing. I used to draw a lot, and I can draw fairly well. I'm not great, but I draw it a lot with like my own tattoos and stuff like that back when I was younger. So I'm thinking about getting back into drawing, but right now I don't do much, man. Besides, like right now I'm going to work. I just picked up with my boss asked me if I can pick up an extra shift. I was getting done with my first workout at the gym, so now I'm gonna go pick up a shift at work. Do that for like 4 hours. Go home, eat again. Go do a second training session at the gym, and that's pretty much going to be my night after I take a shower and eat. One thing that I do like to do, that I enjoy doing, that I encourage everybody to do is walking my dog. Like, I walk my dog every day, twice a day, and it's a nice little kind of like meditative moment for like 10, 15 minutes to get out of the house. Even if I'm listening to something, sometimes I'll listen to a podcast or music, sometimes I'll turn it off and not listen to anything. But even just getting a moment out, getting out with him, getting some air, getting some sunlight in my eyes in the morning, stuff like that. Like, really all I do right now for like hobbies or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch
Well,
fights.
watch fights. Um,
Yeah.
I get vibes from you. Like you're into like a lot of punk rock or something like that. Is that correct?
I'm into all kinds of music, but yeah, I guess punk rock. But I used to, when I was younger, I used to be really into like real heavy metal and stuff like that. Now that I'm older, I've kind of gotten out of it. But sorry, a couple of people flying by me. But yeah, I like heavy metal and hard rock and punk rock and shit like that.
What's your go-to when you're working out?
See, the majority of the time, when I work out, I don't listen to a lot of hard rock. I listen to more like easier stuff because it's actually something I read in a magazine a long time ago. Was a Chris Stevens article where he was talking about listening to hard rock and how he come to find when he was started fighting and listening to hard rock all the time make him real anxious, make him exert a lot of energy right at the beginning of the workout, and then by the end of it, he'd be real tired. So he come to find that like listening to hard rock is better when you like lifting weights or something like that, and then listening to something a little more slow and melodic is better when you're doing like bag days, sparring days, or something like that. Majority of the time when you go to a gym and they're listening to music while people are working, it's not like death metal or something like that. Like classic rock or something easy or something melodic or maybe rap or something that's got the beat. That way you can kind of like flow to a little more easy. But if I were to say hard rock for like a lifting day or for conditioning day, I usually like my playlist for that right now consists of like Job for a Cowboy and yeah, what's the other one? I can't even think of the name of it right now. But it's like a lot of older, a little bit older, maybe 10, 15 years old death
Yeah.
metal type stuff.
All right. Yeah, I figured. I was going through your Instagram and I was like, I don't know. I feel like this guy might even been in a band when he was younger or something, playing guitar or vocals. Can you sing?
I could sing a little bit. I wasn't in like a real band, but me and my friend and my brother and a couple other people we knew that could play. I could sing, and my friend would play guitar, and other people we knew would come over and play guitar, and my brother can play drums. So when I was like 18 and 20, we would hang out and jam and play. And majority of the time we played like yeah, a lot of hard rock, Pantera, Sepultura, and stuff like that.
I figured. I see. I knew it. I knew it. Whether it's do you? I know there's I've been noticing quite a few fighters like to indulge in a little bit of the devil's lettuce. Is that something that you partake in?
Yeah, I'm definitely. I always say like a 420 athlete.
Yeah, there you go. 420.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I smoke. Like I've always smoked ever since before I fought, and when I was younger. I smoke now when I fight, and now I'm on medical. Um, So I kind of have a better idea of like the reasons why I smoke and when I need to smoke and things like that. But for fighting, it definitely helps me like helps with pain. I have a lot of trouble sleeping at night, so it helps me sleep, helps me eat.
I get that.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely smoke. I like vapors as long as it's clean. I like dabs and flour, and I really like edibles. And my guy Kiss My Fist is an edible sponsor. He's been with me for a long time, so I really like his edibles.
Yeah, the edibles.
I don't like edibles are nice. I like them every once in a while. In the evening, they'll put me to sleep. I don't do them all the time, but after a fight, there's nothing that I like more than an edible because the pain, the anxiety, all that kind of stuff, like it helps me with the
Always.
pain. You know, like if I don't have something, like I won't sleep that night after a fight, whether I win or whether I lose. Like if I win, I'm anxious and I'm excited, and if I lose, I'm like just disappointed and I'm all in my head and thinking. So if I don't get those that night, I probably won't be going to bed.
Yeah, I hear that. Do you? I used to dab. I used to dab religiously, and I had to cut back on that because I just felt like I was smoking it more. It was too much. I just went back down to flour, and I've been smoking joints ever since. Past couple of years now.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice, man. And like I said, also too to keep me level headed, like outside of training. Like I just like to stay relaxed. I'm a pretty calm person, and when I don't smoke, I'm not a very calm person. I'm more like aggravated and easily irritable and bad. I wouldn't say bad attitude, but what I'm looking for. I have like a anger problem. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, but I've actually had to take quite a little bit of therapy, to be honest. I think therapy is a very healthy thing. A lot of, I wouldn't say underrated. A lot of people talk about it. Yeah, you need somebody to talk to about this stuff. I'm not preaching to you necessarily, brother, but like in general, you watch the video, or will watch the video. Sometimes you just need to talk to somebody. So you guys should look into therapy. Therapy's a good thing. I can vouch for that.
Oh yeah, no. I think I've never done therapy. I think it's probably good for a lot of people.
Hmm.
Um, I just, I always view it as like the gym is the therapy. You know what I mean?
Oh
This
yeah.
and different things like that are like I said, meditation. You know what I mean? Like little. I don't meditate like sit around with my legs crossed and my fingers like this and my eyes closed when I meditate. But when I walk my dog, I consider that like meditation. Every time I pray before I eat food, I consider that like a meditation. And little things like that are important throughout the day to take a stop and take a breath, especially when you're a fighter, especially when you're a fighter like myself that manages himself, because then you don't have anybody else helping you with the other shit.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with the performance aspect of your fight and you're dealing with the business aspect of your fight. So that can sometimes be twice as stressful. So it's important to take little time to like whether it is therapy, like you said, or like taking your dog for a walk, saying a prayer,
Time. Yeah.
whatever your kind of thing is. I think everybody needs that. And the same thing which goes back to like the drawing and the different things like that. That is also another form of like meditation. I just seen a thing too that says like anything like people that sew and people that knit, like anything where you're using your hands, but you're not really occupying your mind too much is like a form of meditation.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for those tips, though. Yeah. I need to get back into the gym. Actually, it was good. It's a good feeling that
And
it's
another
over.
one, man. Yeah, the gym is the main one too for athletes. Like everybody that's an athlete feels like shit when they haven't gone to the gym for like 3 or 4 days. You know, all the things that you get from that gym session you don't realize, and you're like, oh, I'm depressed, oh, I'm upset, oh, I'm anxious about this stuff. All that energy just builds up when you don't get in there and get your sessions.
Yeah, definitely, man. Um, well, woof. That was a little deep. Um, what about do you like drinking? Do you have a preference on what you do drink?
Yeah, I like to drink. My thing is I try not to drink. Like I've drank too much in the past, so now, and that's the other good thing about the smoking is that that helps me not drink, and training also helps me not drink. But when I do drink, right now, if I just have like a little drink, like maybe two on Saturday or something, which is what I've pretty much been doing since I've been starting to train pretty hard again. Twisted teas.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, and that's just a light drink. Like, not obviously, we're not talking about liquor, but I've pretty much gotten to where I really don't drink a lot of beer. If I have a beer, it'll be like a Corona,
Mm,
or here in Florida where I'm at, we got these beers called 38 Beach Blonde.
okay. Is it like one of those IPAs or something?
It's not an IPA. It's just like a blonde. It's pretty light. It's pretty easy, but I really like those. But I won't get into it. Like I won't sit down and drink like a 6 pack of beer or something like that. I just don't like it anymore. I used to drink cases of beer, like a case of beer every day when I was a young person, and I've gotten to where I don't really like it that much anymore. I like a twisted tea. I'll take a peach one and a pineapple one and mix them together, and it makes like a little fruit punch.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to try that.
Pretty
I love
good.
it. I love it. I love it.
And
Oh
liquor,
man,
like my go-to liquor would have to be like a Jameson shot.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know. Every time I ask that question, I don't know how you guys. I mean, I know you say you don't do it often, but I don't know. Just the smell of anything hard, like that alcohol smell, is just repulsive to me. It makes me want to throw up, so I don't even touch it.
Certain kinds are like that to me. Certain kinds, yeah. If I can't even, I'm like, yeah. And if I shoot it without a chaser or something, it'll make me want to puke. But I try to stay away, especially liquor. Like now, if I drink liquor, it's gotta be a fight night or something, and I'll take like one or two shots, and then that's it. I'll be done with that.
Yeah, I like to have some drinks when I'm watching you guys fight. That's my thing.
Yeah, yeah. I like and I would also say, like, I'm joking, but also in a serious place. Like the times that I find I want to drink the most is whenever I'm watching a fight. So and that's fine. Almost every time I watch fights, I'll have a drink, unless I'm really close to my fight or something like that.
Yeah.
And whenever I cook, like barbecue and shit like that, if I get on the grill, I want a freaking cold drink in my hand, and if I don't, I feel like weird.
Are you a grill master?
I'm not a grill master now. I'm far from a master. I haven't got into like smoking and all that kind of cool shit. I follow some guys that are amateur fighters that are pretty good with that stuff. But no, I can just like basic grill on a charcoal or a gas grill, do some steaks or some burgers up.
Mm,
But
yeah, I love me some burgers.
seafood, yeah, or some seafood or something like that. But pretty basic, but I'm pretty good with it. I can cook up some good shit. I can cook a real good steak as long as I get good ones.
Nice, nice, nice. Are you close to any other fighters in the organization?
Yeah, I know a lot of fighters in DKFC. I know a lot of fighters. It all varies. Like, there's people that I like a lot that I talked to on Instagram that I've only maybe met a couple times. There's people that I know personally, like for example, Jonathan Miller. He just fought in Canada recently.
Yeah.
I know him pretty well because we came up regionally in amateur MMA at the same time. Like the first amateur gym I ever went to, Jonathan Miller trained there. I think Jonathan might have been like one of the first people I ever sparred. And we fought on a lot of amateur cards together and maybe even some pro cards together. So like I know him really well. And then there's other guys that are like from New Mexico and stuff, like Roberto Armas and Jeremy Sauceda. Like they're guys that I've just met a couple times in passing and talked to on social media, but we're real cool. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
get along together real good. Every time they fight, I'm always cheering for them.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I know. I mean, I know a lot of people in the organization, and then, like I said, it just kind of varies how close I am with them. The most that I know are like the closest people are like people that I've trained with before, like Jonathan. I don't know if I've really trained with anybody else besides him.
Have you ever traveled to Thailand and trained?
No, I've never been to Thailand to train, like a Tiger Muay Thai.
Yeah, I always imagine anybody in the sport has to take some kind of like a trip, like a religious cult do when they travel to Mecca and they have to do it once in their lifetime. I don't know. I just have that in my mind.
I don't know. I watch a lot of Chael Sonnen, and I know everything he says is like satirical, but meant to be taken a joke. But I've heard other people say that going to Tiger Muay Thai isn't like the end all be all that everybody kind of thinks that it is. You know what I mean?
That's the impression I got at least.
Yeah. Like I mean, it's cool if you want to go jog a lot and get beat the hell up by people, but I think also too is like I don't really like to get super exhausted and spar and get beat up because that's when I get injured more often.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta take care of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't. I mean, it's not that I wouldn't do that, and not that I don't think it's a good spot or whatever. Whoa, saved it. It seems like it is, but no, I've never been there. I would go do something like that. I would love to go do something like that.
All right, all right, all right. Got a couple more, and I'm gonna let you go. So I'm assuming you're almost getting to your job.
Yeah, I'm about to park, and then I'm actually gonna walk down on the beach and finish this interview with you.
Cool, 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 cool. Um, well, actually, I wanted to know a little bit more about how did you get started in Muay Thai in the first place? Kickboxing. How'd that happen?
So I've never done kickboxing, and we're talking about trying to get into karate combat.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Modified Muay Thai wins.
Yeah.
So I might start kickboxing amateur, or not amateur, professionally in the region here soon. I've never really done Muay Thai, even though I like Muay Thai. I incorporate a lot of Muay Thai style techniques in with my kickboxing. Um, but like I said, how I got started was when I was doing amateur MMA. It was actually my landlord that I was renting from at the time trained and had done karate before in the town that I was in. And then he was just basically doing it in his garage. Here, how about this? Is that a good view
That
for the
looks
end of
nice.
the
That looks nice.
interview there?
Yes, sir.
So I'm a second degree black belt in Goju Karate. He's now a ninth degree black belt. And he started training me in amateur MMA. I think it was my third amateur fight I did with him. And right off the rip, first fight I did, knockout. Second fight I did with him, knockout. I think we got a couple submissions after that and then a couple more knockouts. So I've been with that coach ever since. And that's who I do my classes with. We both coach the class together. And yeah, it's just ever since I've got with him, I got better at kickboxing and was actually using more of like a Muay Thai style at the time with my kicks and really heavy, turning over the hip and dragging them. And he
Yep.
kind of got me more on a karate style chambering with the kicks, kind of more like a Stephen Wonderboy Thompson
Yeah.
type style.
As an animal.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I've stuck with it ever since then, man. And I really like it. I love kickboxing. I love to kick. I really want to compete for karate combat and get in there and use my kicks. And the dream would be to bounce back and forth between karate combat and bare knuckle, and maybe even fight somebody in both organizations and do an opponent in both organizations would be real fun, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah, ever since then, I've really taken to it and I like it a lot. And yeah, I'll always kickbox and I'll always do karate.
Shoot. Well, is there anything you want to say to anybody out there? You want to shout out any of your sponsors or anything you want to say as we end this video?
Sure. Yeah. Sorry. For some reason, when I got out of my car, your volume dropped down real low. Um, but yeah, let me just say, shout out to all my sponsors: Main Street Fitness in Defuniak Springs, Florida, where I coach my classes. Shout out to Kiss My Fist, my edible sponsor. You can find their info on my social media Instagram page. Thanks to Angie Sweets. Thanks to Dorian that does my graphics. Thanks to everybody that's helped me or sponsored me over the years. I don't have my list of everybody with me right now. I know I got all my main ones in there. And yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on and getting to do some talking about upcoming stuff. And hopefully I'll have a fight for you guys here soon.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. And yeah, bud. Have a good day at work, and hopefully we'll catch up again later on.
Perfect. Sounds good, man. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
All right, boss. See ya. Have a good one.
Take care.